Hello and welcome back to Pics and Portraits. With the entirety of human creation potentially a click away, it can be hard imagining getting up to physically put a movie on, let alone traveling to a store to get it. Though convenient, I, like many, still pine for the weekend spent browsing video store shelves. In this video, we will revisit those days by looking at the history of home video rental, but first, the format that made it all possible. To say videotape changed the way we consume media would be an understatement. Prior to its invention, television was broadcast live, once, miss it and that's it, it's gone. The same could be said for movies. While some popular films would be re-released in theaters, if you didn't see a certain one on its first run, well, you may be out of luck. An early process for recording and archiving TV broadcasts was the kinescope. This involved recording a video monitor with a film camera and allowed studios to distribute their programs across different markets. Though the quality was impacted, this was the only viable option until 1951 in the emergence of videotape. Video was first experimented with by Bing Crosby's production company BCE. In addition to his performance legacy, Crosby is also considered an audio pioneer. Having seen what tape was capable of during wartime, he invested $50,000 in technology company Ampex to develop reel-to-reel tape recorders. This allowed him to pre-record and produce his radio show in a way that hadn't been heard before. Seeing potential in the format, BC modified these recorders and attempted to capture and store moving images. While they succeeded, the quality was deemed too poor to broadcast. This was because the video signal was much higher than the audio signal, and as such required more space and quicker speeds of recording. It would take 5 years for Ampex to develop the 2-inch Quadruplex system that would eventually exceed kinescope in every way. This quickly became the norm for recording television broadcasts. However, due to the fact that tape was expensive and reusable, many early recordings are lost. What you are seeing here is the oldest surviving videotape footage, a Bing Crosby variety show starring Louis Armstrong, Rosemary Clooney, and Frank Sinatra. It was sponsored by the Ford Motor Company to promote their new line, the Edsel, in 1957. This format would be improved upon and evolved to include color, with new formats emerging as the technology became quicker and more compact. The next major development in video was the introduction of the video cassette. In 1971, Sony released the U-matic cassette, intending to market it to consumers, but they didn't bite. Now we're going to be seeing this a lot with these early formats, mainly due to cost. However, thanks to U-matic's durability, it did catch on with broadcasters, and would be used extensively in television production. Now almost all of what we've discussed here has been for commercial purposes. In terms of home viewing, open reel-to-reel systems existed, but suffered again from cost as well as ease of use. In 1972, Philips released the VCR, or Video Cassette Recording System. While the purpose was similar, and the acronym the same, this is not what is commonly referred to as a VCR. Philips VCR used square cassettes capable of recording at 3 different speeds, allowing users to capture 30, 45, or 60 minutes worth of footage, with quality and functionality degrading as the duration increased. However, it did improve upon previous systems and added features that would become standard, such as a programmable clock that could be set to record. Still, it never took, and was limited only to Europe, Australia, and South Africa. That same year, US-based Cartrivision debuted, offering pre-recorded media such as feature films or educational programs that could be ordered and returned through catalog. Like VCR, Cartrivision tapes were square, but were capable of recording up to 114 minutes thanks to a process known as skip field. This helped conserve media space by recording only half of the video field, with playback running at 3 times, concealing any lost resolution. These tapes were compatible only with Cartrivision sets, priced at nearly $8,000 when adjusted for inflation, so while revolutionary, Cartrivision faced poor sales, and production ceased just 13 months into its life cycle. Video's true consumer breakthrough came in 1975 with Sony's Betamax. An improvement upon their U-matic system, Beta was more accessible in terms of use and affordability. Ever since the U-matic, there have been calls for a single, standardized format. Sony saw this in Betamax and sought to license it to other companies, though their attempt to monopolize the industry was met by JVC and the arrival of format, the Video Home System, or VHS, in 1976. The period that followed is commonly referred to as the Format War, with Beta and VHS emerging as the two superpowers. Both were commercially available well into the 1980s, but while Beta sported a better viewing experience, it was hampered by a short recording time. At only an hour, it was unable to record the entirety of a movie, unlike VHS, which could record 2 hours from the moment production began. Though recording times would increase, Beta never recovered, and VHS went on to become the dominant format. In 1968, Andre Blais founded Magnetic Video, a video duplication service in Farmington Hills, Michigan. In 1977, Blais approached 20th Century Fox about licensing 50 of their films for consumer release on both VHS and Beta. Echoing Cartrivision, consumers were able to purchase tapes through mail by joining Blais' Video Club of America. With these tapes costing upwards of $100 each, and recorder players, those VCRs, over $1,000, not adjusted for inflation, this still was very much a luxury. Shortly after Magnetic Video began releasing films for home use, entrepreneur George Atkinson purchased a copy of each on both formats with the intent of lending or renting them to customers. This service was very well received, and he would go on to open the Video Station, the first video rental store in Los Angeles. Following Atkinson's lead, hundreds of independent video stores began opening. In 1979, PhotoMaster started offering video rental services at their photo kiosks. The widespread acceptance of home video allowed for smaller distributors that catered to a particular niche, pornography. It also led to piracy, as users could duplicate or record copyrighted material off television. Major studios attempted to sue the manufacturers of the technology, the most notable case being Sony Corp of America versus Universal City Studios. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Sony, stating, more or less, that home video falls under fair use, and just because the technology allows for piracy does not mean that is its intended purpose. Seeing the revenue potential in releasing their films commercially, studios would eventually embrace home video. From the mid-80s into the 90s, the video rental industry exploded. Several national and international chains emerged, the largest being Blockbuster Video. Founded in Texas in 1985, Blockbuster quickly grew into a multi-billion-dollar company, expanding rapidly and swallowing up all its competition. As technology advanced, more avenues for home video rental appeared to challenge the video store model. Like Blockbuster, pay-per-view came to prominence in 1985. Evolving at a closed-circuit television, pay-per-view delivered special programming, like sporting events or pornography, and feature films directly to customers through their television providers for a limited time. The switch to digital video in the late 1990s allowed for video-on-demand services, where a customer could view a program or film at any time. It also forced rental stores to update their stock to a new format, the digital versatile disc, DVD. Inspired by Amazon's success during the dot-com boom, Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings toyed with the idea of an online video store, but felt shipping and stocking VHS too cumbersome. The advent and convenience of DVD allowed them to launch Netflix in 1998. Similar to how the industry began, Netflix mailed DVDs to customers for them to keep, all facilitated through the internet. They did away with late fees and did not charge for shipping and handling. In 2000, Blockbuster was given the opportunity to purchase Netflix for $50 million, but passed. Netflix would adapt to the changing landscape, and in 2007, after delivering their billionth DVD, the company announced a streaming video-on-demand service. Today, Netflix has over 148 million subscriptions worldwide, produces more original content than any other network, and is synonymous with television. Blockbuster, on the other hand, declared bankruptcy in 2013. Some video stores still exist, but the model is disappearing rapidly. Pay-per-view, video-on-demand, and streaming platforms all contributed to the decline of physical media, but each can be classified as video rental, as rights expire and certain media can disappear at any time. Hang on to those DVDs, people. The affection felt towards video can be attributed obviously to nostalgia. I've said it many times on this channel, but VHS videotape is absolutely an inferior format. However, I was raised on videotape. My memories are informed by videotape. I was introduced to so much media through video that in some circumstances, watching it on any other format just looks wrong. Now, this was not meant to be an exhaustive history, and I am no expert, so feel free to correct or comment down below. I will post links to relevant material in the description, and we will be exploring this topic more in a process video over at patreon.com/picsandportraits. You can support us there. Please subscribe if you haven't, give us a thumbs up, share this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.